No, she wouldn't repeat those mistakes any longer than she already had. No more clinging vines of pain strangling her soul. No more stifling marriages. No poisons of financial woes and emotional starvation. Her lifeline and the oppressive gloom of her existence were the incandescent flashes of her mother's rare smiles. Moments of unadulterated bliss that cut through the despair. These radiant glimmers she fiercely clutched, a resolute rejection of her mother's sacrifices, futility. They fueled her insurrection, a guiding star illuminating the perilous journey towards her hard-won liberty. These vows were a solemn vow, a blazing testament to the life she'd resolutely, a testament to the life she resolutely intended to build. A life pulsating with vitality, untamed in its spirit, and undeniably her own. A biting Colorado wind, like ice shards in her chest, couldn't extinguish the fervent blaze of triumph within Tamaria. Securing the position a hard-won jewel amidst a relentless struggle had felt astronomically, no, that's not the word, astoundingly easy. 14 years of clawing her way through life had forged a resume as thick as her resolve. But Kofi, that viper, in tailored clothes, saw her triumph not as a shared victory, but a betrayal. He'd choke on the thought of her independence and freedom that threatened his carefully constructed cage of control. His refusal to help her with transportation was a small, vicious battle in their ongoing war. He needed her, yes. A parasitic need that mirrored her own desperate, unspoken reliance on him. A truth they both buried under the layers of resentment and brittle pride. Begging was beneath her. The icy bite of the pre-dawn air clung to her as she trudged those miles to the bus stop. The biting wind, a physical manifestation of Kofi's indifference. The rest of her breath, the ache in her legs, the gnawing emptiness in her stomach. These were the prices of her freedom. And each night, the same brutal journey back under the sky, the color of a bruised plum. A silent testament to the strength she refused to let him break. Tamaria's inaugural position felt like a stifling tomb. A stagnant atmosphere heavy with unfulfilled promise. Each monotonous day, a brick in the wall of her disillusion, intensified her yearning for liberation. Then, spectrum, the word itself, shimmered a promise, whispered on the tongue. Spectrum. She found herself laughing, truly laughing, a sound unfamiliar and exhilarating. Work husbands? She thought, a wry smile twisting on her lips. Easy camaraderie that masked a deeper loneliness. This new life pulsed with rhythm of freedom, a freedom she'd craved since long before the suffocating vows, a freedom that smelled like crisp morning air, that tastes like the first sip of independence, that tastes like God's promise, finally within reach. But Kofi, their relationship was a twisted tapestry woven from shadows and fire. Their demons, grotesque and grinning, danced beautifully together, perfectly in sync. Their higher selves, however, clashed. with the brutal force of a head-on collision. A
Cacophony.
cacophony of shattered dreams. One drunken night, amidst the wreckage of their failing marriage, a child was conceived. Sex was infrequent, brutal, a desperate grasp for connection that only deepened the chasm between them. The surprise pregnancy bloomed in the fertile ground of Tamaria's escape, a cruel twist of fate as she prepared to walk away. A week after the bombshell confession of her intention to leave to finally breathe, sickness consumed her. Nausea gnawed at her insides, a relentless tide of exhaustion pulling her under. The missed period was a cold, hard fact. The two pink lines seared themselves into her vision. God, are you serious? The thought screamed in her head, raw, desperate. Leaving was already a mountain to climb. Now, a tiny life, a new weight of responsibility was strapped to her back. The clock ticked. Each second, a hammer blow. Would she choose herself the cold, clean break of an abortion? Or would she succumb to the crushing weight of motherhood, rebuilding her life again, brick by agonizing brick, shackled to Kofi for a future she hardly wanted anymore? This was another rough pregnancy she decided to share with Kofi, and the life developing inside her felt like a constant, pulsing accusation. January 2020, leaving Kofi was a New Year's sacrifice, a brutal severing of ties, a decision etched in fire. No regrets, only the burning ache of a new beginning. The remote COVID-19 hotline job, a month away in Austin, was a lifeline thrown into the churning sea of her uncertainty. But it was more than a job. A palpable shift vibrated through her, a raw, electric energy crackling in the air, leaving her breathless. It wasn't just hope, it was a force, a divine intervention that was hammered at her senses, the throbbing pulse in her temples echoing the relentless beat of her reborn heart, the raw scent of possibility hanging heavy in the Texas air. God's grace, she whispered a prayer and a defiant roar all at once. She was moved with a frantic energy, a terrifying urgency born of fear and faith intertwined. Every task, every placement of a box, a desperate attempt to solidify this precarious new reality before the power of this inexplicable gift slipped away. The trials that followed were brutal, relentless waves crashing against her newfound resolve, testing the limits of this grace. But she learned to see God not as a distant deity, but as a steady hand guiding her through the storm. A trust built in the crucible of surrender, one grasping breath at a time. Tamaria hadn't realized the pace at which she moved, a relentless sprint towards everything she craved. She'd learn eventually to slow down, to let things come to her. But the stillness felt like stagnation, a cruel trick of the mind. Tonight, scrolling through Instagram, the flawless images mocked her. She knew she was beautiful, uniquely so, a vibrant mosaic of scars and triumphs. Yet the reflection staring back at her, a mirror to the pain and struggle she'd survived, was an enemy she desperately wanted to erase. A mommy makeover, she thought? A quick fix for a soul that felt irreparably broken. The idea nodded her. She'd always prided herself on self acceptance, on embracing her imperfections as a badge of honor. This yearning for surgical perfection felt like a betrayal, codependent to the very standards she fought against. The voice of her auntie, a woman who'd weathered a lifetime of hardship with unwavering dignity, echoed in her mind. True beauty lies not in what you look like, child, but what you overcome.